Just assumed I'd play the part.
Where was I? Right, so yeah, you've just seen your husband. You've lost 1 sanity. So I think, are you just gonna stay sort of like glued to the screen, or are you going to, what does Dolores
who are you
do?
asking?
Dolores, sorry, because she's just seen her husband getting stabbed again, and she's lost 1 sanity.
I asked Charles if he saw it. If he
If it's
could
on the
see
screen, I
what
probably
I
did.
just.
Yep. Yeah, it was on the screen, so yeah, you definitely would have. So you can.
So he definitely saw it too.
Yep.
Do you want me to make a sanity check?
Yeah, you've just watched a man get stabbed, so
No, I asked.
it's good that you did.
I try and be fair. I've succeeded. So
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
like, oh, terrible business. Don't know that man. Don't care.
So have we found anything that
So
I
as
guess that all the lights had gone out, even like the electrical one.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to.
Yeah, so you've been tampering with the room basically quite a bit, and you can sort of now make the assumption that that sort of fuzziness that when you came off was meant as the gas being released into the room to make you sort of feel like the hallucination is real. So you're being temporarily gassed as in there. So
Gotcha. So we're being drugged and fucked with.
yes. And
Gotcha.
as you're watching this on the screen, Dolores yet again just in your head, you sort of get that voice just comes through again, just like, Dolores, you shouldn't be here. We're coming for you. So yeah, you can. How do you react to having that?
I probably go wide-eyed. No one's gonna suspect anything. I'm not gonna say anything out loud. That's how you get thrown into institutes. Come on now.
Okay.
Get more sense than that.
So
Honestly, I'm just gonna assume that it's like some weird subconscious thing because honestly, everything that we've been through, they're gonna get whoever this is. They're gonna get me probably. That's what I'm gonna assume it is. It's a lot of stress, and yeah, I mean they're probably gonna I'm probably gonna die tonight. I should have left. Honestly, I should have gone to the lobby and I should have gone to the authorities. But here we are playing detective. So, yeah, they'll probably get me and I'll die.
So
That's my rationing of
as
it.
this is going on, you obviously, because you've been playing with buttons on the dial, you can hear the gears again start churning away behind you. But as they're churning away, I think you don't need to roll for this. It's quite an audible sound. You just hear a loud thud back the way that you've just came. There's just like banging. So you can't hear anything because there's metal doors, but you can definitely hear the banging on the.
Can we see anything on the monitors? We could see the office, couldn't we, on these monitors? Can we check those?
Yeah, so you go back and if you check the monitors, the office, there's no one in the office anymore. There's no one in the hallway. So on this metal door, there's like a small little like spy hole, like peek hole. So are you gonna take a look through that, or are you just gonna ignore the banging? 'Cause they can't get in. You've got the key, or they should be able to get in if they have got a key.
Well, yeah, I'll go check the peephole, see who it is. I presume it's probably the Colonel and Sandy, whatever her name was.
Yeah. It's so you see the Colonel and Sally the other side of this door, just banging on it, and they've followed down this tunnel that they've seen.
Yeah, I'll let them in so that we're at least grouped up together again.
Okay, so you let them in. The Colonel sort of comes in like, "What happened back there? The wall it shut on us. And what is this?" And he looks up, and obviously in awe. Weirdly though, can you give me a? Yeah, let's do a. Something that is. I think it is just spot hidden, isn't it? I don't think there is like.
No, I use it a lot and I'm really good at it, so I don't know if you want to try and use something else.
Well, I don't think there is like a perception check as such. I think it is just spot hidden. So, yeah, I'd say it's probably going to have to be a spot hidden. I don't think there is a perception.
Fair enough. That's a success.
That's success. So
I would fail a half though.
No, it's quite obvious. As you're talking to them, obviously the colonel's quite stunned. He's looking around at all this mechanical stuff that's in here and all the gears and the screens, and you can tell that from like a war point of view, he's never seen it. But for someone so young, Sally just doesn't seem to. She's not in shock at all. You can sort of see that she's. It's definitely like she's been here before.
Oh, that's curious. This seems to be some sort of control center of sorts. After analyzing the panels a little bit and these screen doodads, I've discovered that there's cameras set up in most of the rooms and buttons and dials that operate the walls. I spotted where you were stuck and opened the wall. That's how I gave you access. No sign of the assailant though, or no understanding of who it may be. I'm a bit stuck on how to proceed because I think this gives us the best vantage point, and I don't really trust anyone else being in here. So, yeah, any ideas would be open to, but I'll sort of show him around the dials and show him what does what.
Yeah, he probably feels not at home because obviously it's all foreign. It's futuristic to him, but at the same time he's sort of like, oh yes, it reminds me of the control hubs back in the war. Great idea. Let's definitely use this as a central point. We need to stick together though.
Whilst I'll let him have a little bit of time to look around. I'll grab Dolores and Edna and sort of off to the side in relatively hushed tones. I'll point out the fact that Sally seems really unfazed by all this and how it's just kind of strange. So yeah, I'll pull him to the side. It seems like I noticed something a bit odd about that Sally lass there. When I walked in here, it was a mirage of oddities, but she seems unfazed, like she's been here before. It's concerning.
Well, she does work here.
Yes, but a creepy control room like this, it would still be unnerving, unless she was in on it.
What?
I mean,
about...
she could be. We could interrogate her.
If you would like to do that, by all means. What about...
She's only a young lady.
business
Interrogating would be preposterous. What about what, sorry?
The business partner.
I still have no clue who that might be. There's no information on the desk that I could decipher. Be wary of her. Maybe you can speak to her lady to lady and might be able to get something out. Just a thought. I might not have the delicate touch, being such a well-established gentleman and all.
Which one's that? One of yours?
I just finished what I had to say there, to be honest.
Which one of the women
I
is going to
mean-
go?
I just don't care that she knows. Like, I feel like if anything, she's fairly decent ransom and maybe a good navigator. And we could always, like, I don't know, beat her up if we need to use her and she's not cooperating.
I'm sorry. It's just because my notes are obviously she's the youngest person of the staff. It's like, let's just beat her up. Yeah. Like all these old people just kicking the crap out of a child.
I didn't particularly want to say that.
Well, I've said it in front of her, so she knows I'm not above it.
She's not here at this point. Charles said he pulled you off to one side.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it in front of her if I need to, but we can always just beat her up if we need to.
Oh my
Let's
God,
just keep an
Chris,
eye on
savage.
her. And we know if anyone's just a little bit more friendly that should be hostile to us, but towards her they're friendly, then we'll know they're probably working together.
That's quite hard to read, though. We can't really stay here forever.
Yes, we are limited time here. Are there more? So, we came into the. Are there other exits to the control room from the control room?
So yeah, next to every set of monitors, there's doors leading to every single hotel room. There's doors leading to hallways. There's mirrors that are just in corridors that you can see. Now that you've started messing around on the buttons, you can tell certain symbols mean certain things. So there's big grand floor to ceiling mirrors in corridors which can just pop open if you needed to get in and out. It's also got around the middle room. It's not just you're on the middle floor, but there is floors above you. There's floors below as well, and just like metal staircases that go around.
And has there been any change? Like, has there been any movement of anyone on any of the cameras?
From what you can see, there's because you've been around to like a few cameras. You've seen your rooms. You've seen the others. There's only, as far as you're aware, there's only 3 more people in the hotel apart from obviously Mr. Richards and David. So are you wanting to try and find the married couple and Isabel?
Well, I was thinking the basement.
Basement. None of the cameras seem to show anything for the basement. It's not like there's a basement on these cameras. So there's nothing there as such. Are you gonna sort of ask around if anyone's seen it, or are you just like trying to see it yourself?
I would. Yeah, she'd ask around.
She's asking around. Okay, so yeah, you can ask around. Everyone can. Is everyone gonna sort of look for any cameras that do the basement, or is anyone against it?
I mean, I'm okay for looking for it.
Yeah, I'm
I've-
I'm relatively proficient with all the instruments, so I'll try and find it on the screens, I guess.
Okay, so you are you sticking together, or are you sort of each taking a monitor each to try and locate it, or
No,
really
I
need
don't
a
think I'll
monitor
be
each, that's
messing
all.
with
you don't
that
need
stuff
to
anymore.
you don't need to mess with the buttons. It's just the monitors, I'm guessing. You don't need to actually press anything because each screen's got a different. The cameras are all one screen per camera.
No, I'm gonna stick to a screen that someone else is looking at. I don't want to see some shit that no one else sees.
Okay. What about Edna and Charles?
I'll probably look on my own volition. I'm kind of prepared to see, like, well, I say prepared. I'm expecting the worst out of these monitors to see what happens. So
Okay.
For me, probably the only person I care about in this entire hotel, like I've already seen his blood, so I don't think I'll have much reaction to if there's anything bad on my end.
So you're all going separate ways. Just to look at these
guess so, yeah.
monitors. Okay, so you're spread out around this all these monitors that are.
I'm not.
Who are you?
I'm looking.
Are you with the Colonel?
I'll be sharing with one of them. I can flip a coin if you'd like.
Well, it's not up to me. You've got to decide what your character's doing.
Flip Coin. Okay, so I'm with Charles if it's heads. Oh, Charles. I'm looking at his monitors.
Okay, so you've got Charles and Dolores together. Edna's off looking around, trying to search for this basement. The Colonel is sort of just in awe, looking over this railing and looking at all of these monitors and dials. He's not touching anything. He doesn't understand any of it. It's all weird to him. And then as you are all looking around, I think Sally probably goes, "Is there anything I can help you with?" Because obviously the Colonel's just sort of stood over the edge, and you guys were off on your own. Is anyone going to reply to her?
I will reply, but I want to stare directly at her eyes while I do it.
Yeah.
I want to see what facial, if there's any facial changes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah, we're looking for the basement. Do you know where that is? On the cam boxes.
She sort of her expression doesn't really change. She sort of like just stares straight back at you, and sort of not confusing, but you can definitely see that she's not. She's almost. It's not acting, but she's like trying to put on this thing. She's like, "Oh, the basement? No, we no one goes down there, so we don't monitor the basement. But is there a reason you want to see it?"
We don't monitor the basement.
Did I say we? Well, the staff. You see, there's no need to monitor the basement with the cameras. And she's now sort of like caught on that you've caught her sort of like bluffing at this point, and she sort of goes, "Oh, but I suppose at least if you really want to see the basement, let me help you out." And she just like hits a button on the monitor that's next to her, and all of a sudden this red light appears or starts flashing in the middle, and an alarm starts, like siren just starts going around, and Sally herself just jumps over the railing and goes straight down through the middle. She just leaps over this railing with ease and just goes straight through, right down all the floors to below you. So you can't like grab her or do anything. But this siren starts whirling around inside, and all of a sudden, all of the doors swing open from the from either side of the monitors. They just constantly all flash around. So all of the doors open now, and then all of a sudden on the monitor you just see the two security guards get up, and they start making their way towards these open doors. One's in a mirror that's in the lobby, and the other one's just in the dining room. And as you then see some of the other monitors, you see David just stepping out from one of the doors upstairs. Except David this time is holding a gun.
It's David.
That's our cue to leave.
Um,
How far down did you jump?
Well, it's a black. You wouldn't be able to see down because you can see in the flashing lights that it looks deep. She's disappeared from sight anyway, but it's gone into like this black sort of void area.
I say we go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've already resigned myself to dying here. Let's go.
Well, you're braver lasses than I give you credit for. After you.
How
Okay.
rude!
I'll lead
It's
the way.
1920s. Women are pansies. Get over it.
I'll start very slowly going down to the point where it probably annoys Charles.
That's fine. Well, if you make a start, I'll hop over.
So you're all going over the railing, are you?
Yeah, apparently.
Jumping into the void.
Jumping into the void. That
Ooh.
never ends badly, does it?
I like it. So who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, so you jump down into this void and you will take 2 damage.
Oh, it's not far at all.
Fuck off. We've got 10. 20% of your whole health is gone.
So who's going next?
I'll jump next, I suppose.
Ooh, 5 damage.
Jesus Christ.
And
Have
then
I got a wound of any sort?
no, you've fallen. It's a 10-foot drop. You land on a concrete floor at the bottom, in a heap. You've probably landed next to Dolores if she's there. She's just getting up, brushing herself off. And then is Edna gonna jump down as well?
I suppose I have to.
3 damage, please.
I suppose
Okay.
my damage comes from trying to catch her and slow her descent.
Yeah,
Being a gentleman, it makes sense. It's canon.
yeah. And then Charles.
What do we see in the void?
Charles lands as well, and he's taken 3 damage as well. So you, not Charles, the Colonel. Sorry, you're Charles. I was talking to you. So as you land in the basement, you are all sort of. It's dark. Your candle's obviously gone out as you fell, but you realise that you haven't fell that far. You can still see the red flashing light above, and then there's. Again, it's surrounded by these rooms, but all of the doors are they're all open. There's still no you can see through them, and you can clearly tell that you have dropped past the lobby and you are in the basement now. So you've gone down probably a floor at least, just to get down there.
Any idea? Can we see? Is there any indication of which way Sandra went?
Sally.
Yeah, that's what I said.
just get a different name every time from Charles. So you can sort of see that there's not really much to give away, but there's only really one or two doors that lead off. So there's only one way that she could have gone. Really, it all leads into the same room.
Well, let's sort of quickly walk / slowly run after her, I suppose.
Okay, so you enter this grand sort of the basement's it's well lit for being the basement's normally out of area for the guests. You can see large pipes going everywhere, which are carrying all sorts through the system of the hotel. They're not sewage pipes. They're more. You can definitely tell that something's being pumped. So you can probably guess from what you've seen upstairs that these are where the gas is being pumped in from downstairs, and there's lots of tubing all the way to the end of the corridor. There's like this. It opens up into this big sort of. It's a big vast area, but in the center of it, there's sort of like a moat almost or a well that's sort of going around. And there's water all around this central hub, and then there's just this big dome glass window that's just in the center of this room, and inside that glass dome, you can see the crumpled body of Hope is just lying in this dome glass. So yeah, what he is going to do?
Don't know, to be honest. I was looking at my character sheet to see. I'll listen out to see what can I hear.
Okay, if you do a listen roll, we'll see how much you succeed.
That is a pass or a half fail.
Pass. Is it a hard success?
A
Is it half?
Regular success,
Regular.
half fail.
Right. So we've got. So yeah, you can hear. Obviously, you can hear all these gears still grinding upstairs. You can still hear the faint sound of the alarm. You can't hear anything from inside this dome that's in there. She's just lying motionless, so you don't even know if she's alive. You can hear the footsteps, which would probably be caused from Sally, you'd imagine. It's got that sort of like high heel sound as she's going over the concrete. That's in just going around the side of the dome. You can probably also hear the two security guards coming down the stairs, as they were the closest ones to you. They're making their way down. There's a staircase right at the back of this room, just behind where the glass dome is, and you'll hear footsteps coming down that as well as they echo through the corridor, because it's all a big damp open area in the basement.
Any sign of Sir Richard or anything like that?
Not from where you are. You're still in the sort of entryway, just underneath all of the gears at the minute. You haven't gone through the door.
How light is it?
Inside the room, there is light from around the globe, but where you are, it's the light's really coming from the red alarm light that's upstairs.
Okay.
Let's head through the door, I suppose.
Let's.
Okay, so you walk through the door, and as you do, a voice sort of comes across. There's like a speaker system down there, and you can tell that it's David from upstairs, and he just goes, "Sir, your guests have arrived," and he pulls the lever, and the alarm stops behind you. But as they do, all the doors that you've just come through just slam shut, and you can hear the lock just go in. So you're now trapped in this basement room with them. Then
Who's he saying? Is it Sir Richard there, I presume? If he says, Sir, your guests have arrived.
Just from behind I'd probably say at this point, yeah. So from just behind the dome, you just see the figure of Sir Richard just walk out from behind it. He's not got his cane. He's not got. Obviously, you've got it. He's not walking. He's not being injured in any way. So you can probably assume that the blood in his office was not his. And he just comes sort of walking out, and he goes, "Ah, my dear friends. Alas, I did not wish for the night to go this way. You were never meant to come here like this, I guess. I expect that you want me to explain some things."
Richard, what is the meaning of this?
Now, bear with me, Charles. There is a lot that you don't understand.
You're goddamn right, there's a lot I don't understand.
I was blessed, Charles, and you could be too. Just ask the Colonel there. He knows all about it. And he just sort of gestures behind you. And the Colonel's he's like, "I assure you, I have no idea what he's talking about." So I suppose it's, do you believe him? Do you just trust the Colonel at this point, or are you, what are you going to do?
Well, I'll take a slight step away, and I don't understand what's going on.
Okay. And then as the Colonel sort of like, he's sort of like, "Where are you going? We were a team." As he sees you sort of like step away from him, and he's like, now, you didn't think that I'd forget what you did to my son, did you?" And sort of looks straight at the Colonel, sort of past you three as you're stood there. You see, this hotel survived the war, and I did say that we survived because of hope. And he sort of looks down into this ball, and he just sort of like goes, "I assume you would like to know who hope really is." Just sort of looks up at you.
Yeah, I'm a bit stunned at the events, so I don't really have anything to say.
Dolores or Edna? Anything?
Oh, I've just assumed that he's probably sold his soul to some fucking cult. Um, like I'm over here thinking of some kid, and he says he's gonna show me. I just want to see what he says. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna show?
Okay. So he sort of looks at you all, and he goes, "Forgive me, my friends. I suppose I never really introduced you to my business partner. But I believe one of you has already met him. You see, you were never my guest, Dolores. You were his." And then all of a sudden, from behind Mr. Richards, you just see these two eyes that appear, but now Charles and Edna can also see them, and the Colonel. They just appear behind them. These two red, they're not quite red, they're not quite orange or yellow. They're just sort of like it's just changing between them all. These two big eyes that just appear behind. And he just all of a sudden just goes, "Dolores, I have been watching you since you were a child. I now wish for you to join me." And then Sir Richard sort of looks at Charles and Edna and just goes, "My friends, I met this man a long time ago. Longer than I have known you. See, this man can do something that you cannot. Ask the Colonel. He still has no idea. How about I show you?" And he turns around, and the Colonel just gets starts to move forward, and he's you can tell then why, and he's got a gun in his back from Sally, who's came out of the back of from behind the pipes that you walked past, and she just sort of looks at you and goes, "Sorry, loves, but I'm sure you'll understand eventually." And he just walks forward. So he stands just about in front of you. He's probably about 5 foot, 10 foot in front of you at this point, and he goes, Sir Richard just goes, "That'll do, Sally. No further. I want you to meet my other pet." And he goes, he sort of gestures, and Edith steps up from behind him, and she's sort of hunched over, and she's sad, she's looking down. She keeps looking over at Hope, and just he goes, "Now that I trust you have all seen the Colonel's wounds." And then does anyone reply to that?
I'm lost for words. What is going on?
And then since you've said that, the two eyes behind, again, you can't see a mouth, but you can just hear this voice, and it echoes through this empty corridor, and it just goes, "He lies." Just straight through. And then Sir Richard's like, "Charles, don't lie to me. You've seen the two wounds that this Colonel suffers." And then he sort of gestures, and Sally just sort of lifts up his coat, so now Dolores and Edna can see these two holes that just go straight through the Colonel, that you can see out the other side that he shouldn't be surviving from. And I think while you're there, because this will be the first time you pair have seen it, that's probably a sanity check for both of you.
Lovely. So I want something low, right? I want a low number. 5.
Yeah, you don't want high.
Okay, all right. You hear that, all right, Jesus?
For all three of them?
Lovely.
No, Charles has already seen it, so Charles is sort of aware of this, so it's just Edna and Dolores. Is that a fail, by the way?
Yeah, that is a fail.
Okay. Ooh, you take 3 sanity damage.
That's also a fail.
A fail. Ooh, that's a 5 on sanity damage, and with a 5 in Call of Cthulhu, anytime someone gets 5 or more madness, they go temporarily insane.
Oh, yay.
So you have now gone for violence. So you just start swinging this this stick that you've got, and I think you
Is it
probably
directed towards anyone?
no. It's just you're scared, so you just start flailing it because you've just seen something that you don't really want to see. So you just like swing outwards, and you start catching everyone. So who are you
Okay.
stood next to? Really, is
I probably would have been next to Charles.
Charles. Ooh, I don't know how
Nice.
much hit points Charles has got, but you connect with Charles. So it's going to be a club.
Yeah,
So
1d6.
yeah,
Want me to roll that?
1d6. Yeah, you can roll it. See how much damage you do to him.
4 whole damage. I have a 0 damage bonus, so he's lucky.
I don't know who he
I-
is.
I am on 1 health. I let out a mighty
Hey.
scream and fall to the floor as a cripple. You've broken my whole back after hitting me in the back of the head.
God.
Um,
I don't
Okay.
understand.
so you're just like screaming.
Take my clubs.
So at this point, Edna's like screaming. She doesn't really care who she's hitting. She can't really see or hear much. She just starts flailing wildly, and then sort of Sir Richard just goes, "Please take her down." And one of the security guards just shoots Edna in the arm.
Oh,
Um,
what the fuck?
So it takes, it's probably a severe, which is going to be quite a bit of damage, which we'll see how much you get now. Ooh, that's a 5.
Does that mean I straight up die?
Why are you at 0?
Yeah.
No, you don't die. You'll fall to the floor. You are severely wounded. You're not dead yet. He shoots you in the
Okay.
arm, so you basically drop the club and you sort of like you pass out. I think you'd probably at this point.
Okay.
And
Unconscious.
then you'll be unconscious for a bit. You are losing some blood, so there's and then Sir Richard just goes, "Please stop this. I am here to give you a gift, not destroy you." And then he sort of like looks. He goes, "This man does not deserve the gift, though. For if this man did his job properly, my son would still be here. So, Edith, do your duty." And Edith sort of like goes to walk down, and she sort of looks shocked, like sort of scared to do what he wants. She doesn't really want to. She sort of like you can tell that she's not behind what's going on. And then so Mr. Richards pulls out that small remote. He's got a second one that you've seen on the desk, and he just he clicks the button on it, and the necklace around Edith's neck just goes blue and just starts, she like keels over a bit in pain, and he's like, "I warn you, girl, do as you're told." And then Edith just sort of like just gently touches the colonel and just sort of whispers to him, "It's time to go." And then he just like crumples to the floor in front of you, and he just dies. So I think that's probably, for those that can, another sanity roll. You've just watched a man be killed by a touch of a girl.
I have failed.
1 point of sanity. You are getting lucky with them rolls. Oh, Doxy. You poor unfortunate soul. 3 points of sanity for Doxy. Nothing for Edna because she is unconscious at this point.
Look, I have failed a lot, but I haven't gone insane.
Shut up.
So as he crumbles to the floor, he sort of like falls backwards towards you, and his coat pocket sort of like falls out to the ground. And then Sir Richard goes, "I guess you never really figured out who Edith was, did you? You see, I warned you all about this hotel being built on the grounds of an angel. And it turns out that Hope really was that. Except to weaken her, I needed your fear. I needed all their fear." And he sort of like looks down, and you see Hope. You can see that her chest is moving, but she is just sort of trapped in this little almost like a coffin that she's in. It is just like a sphere, a spherical tomb, basically. And he sort of like looks up and just goes, "But the thing with angels, when people started to fear us and die, they brought a friend, and I changed her name around." And then you sort of like, it might dawn on you at this point that Edith, he rearranges just the letters slightly and changes one of them, and you have been sharing a room with Death this entire time. So she's just stood there and she's like, "I tried to warn you all. That gentle breeze you felt was me." So at that time, when you've seen Pierre die, when you've seen the other one die, and you felt that slight gust go past you, that was Death, as she was doing her work, claiming their lives.
Oh my god. Angels and demons in a fucking hotel of madness.
This is all just a bad dream to me.
Yeah, you're just unconscious, like nothing, don't know, have a clue what's going on. He was like,
You're gonna wake up in a hotel room and everyone's gonna be gaslighting the fuck out of you.
well, I feel like at this point, Mr. Rich just goes, he sort of just goes, "Now please, Charles, put down my cane." And then, do you put down the cane or do you still cling on to it?
No, I'm using it to try and hold myself up at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, he's so you just like don't. And he goes, "I will not hurt you, old friend, but please, I need the security guards to wake your friend up." And he looks at Edna and he goes, "My sweet Edna, please let them tend to her." And the security guards just come over with like chemicals and stuff, like smelling salts and stuff to try and wake Edna up. Are you going to let them
Smelling
past?
salt.
Well, are you going to let them past or?
Well, I'm a bit
What
freaked
about your
out.
own medical attention?
Can I roll a psychology on Sir Richard to see like how much I should trust him?
Yeah, you can roll a psychology.
Because like what he said isn't wrong, so I don't really have a reason to not trust him at the moment, other than the fact that he set up an absolute madhouse. That's a pass on a
Pass.
regular one.
Yeah, so yeah, you can. He's not being controlled. He's not. You can tell that he is being sincere. That he just wants to wake Edna up. He is. He doesn't look like he wants to harm you in any way at this point. His words are true. He keeps his eyes gazed more focused on hope and death at this point.
Yeah, I'll hand over the cane and try and take a knee to support myself after being whacked around the face.
Yeah, so they kick away the stick from Edna just in case she's still in this frenzy when she wakes up. And then they start to try and make her come to with like smelling salts, and they bandage the wound on her arm. Take her like that. So they eventually get Edna to sort of come round. You're still suffering from bouts of madness, so you are still a bit violent as you wake up. But you
Okay.
you obviously can't. You don't have much movement in the arm that was holding the stick, so whatever your dominant hand is probably a bit useless at the minute. You've got pain shooting through it. And he goes, so it's just like, Edna, see, I told you no harm would come of you this evening.
You shot me!
I did not shoot you, they did. And he just sort of looks at the security and he goes, however, it's time to see how good you are with a gun. Do you wish to join me? And then he like claps his hands, and the other security guard that's coming is on. There's like a console that's just by the staircase, and he pushes a button, and these two. You hear the gears grind above you again, and these two cages come in, and it's the married couple that came in right at the start. And they're just in these cages. They've got blood pouring down them, and they're quite weak. And he goes, "You could stay here forever, And by forever I mean ever. See, I control death. I kept that man alive, and I can keep you alive for as long as I like. All I ask in return is that you do one thing for me. Take their lives, feed the fear to my friend, drain it from hope. And he sort of like hands over a gun that's loaded. So it's to Edna first as she sat on the floor.
Okay.
And if you, and then he's sort of like, if you don't want to be the first one to take a shot, perhaps the army veteran would. And he just gestures to Charles, and then he goes, or the chemist that fled her home, left her husband behind, all for a hotel from a person that she didn't know. And he's sort of like toying with you all as you stood there looking at these two people in a cage.
Edna would take the shot.
Okay, who are you going to shoot, or what are you going to shoot?
The wife.
So you are actually just going to shoot one of them?
Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
I think, looking at it from a perspective that I want her to have, I think she would.
Okay, so yeah, you take the shot. You shoot the wife that's in the cage, and she
I
just...
don't even I don't roll for it or anything. Nothing.
No,
No.
you got the
Oh,
gun. It's
shit.
not a it's a
Hell
it's a
yeah.
choice to it's your choice now to see who you shoot. It's a hard target to miss. She's literally in a cage right in front of you, so it's not like you can miss really at this point. And she just like slumps, and you hear the husband just sort of let out this roar of pain as he's just watched his wife just slumps down, and Sir Richard's like, "Well done, Edna. Join us." And he gestures that you can now like step forward and join him at the top. And as you do that, you can see David just appears down the bottom of the stairs as well. So all of them are sort of stood there now, and George the butler's also just come down the stairs with David. He's like, oh, and then he's like, now, who's next to take the shot? I should point out as well that when the woman like slumps down, again, Death goes up and just touches her and like sort of says, "Your time is up," and then just like takes her off.
I'll take the gun.
Yep.
Shoots Edna.
Richard, I don't think I can stand for this madness. I'm shocked at what has unfolded before me. But I can promise you one thing. And I've said it this whole time. If you remember back in the trenches, I was never afraid. Because I know that one day, I would join my parents. I take the gun and shoot myself in the head.
Shoot yourself in the head. Okay, so you shoot yourself. You crumple to the floor, and sort of Rich just goes. Death starts to come over to you, and she sits down, and she just goes, "You did a brave thing, Charles. Now it's your time to rest." And as she goes to put a hand out to her, her necklace just sort of goes bright blue again. She gets zapped, and Rich just goes, "No, he can live with this." And he like drags Death away, so you're just sort of on the floor with like blood coming out of your head at this point, but unable to die. So you're in agonizing pain at this point. And he goes, Richard's just like, "I think I'll keep him as a pet." And then sort of like looks as you've you basically can't say much at this point. You're just sort of like lying on the floor, but and then he just like the gun just falls to the floor, and Rich just looks at Dolores, and he just goes, "Your burden is not mine, child." And then all of a sudden, the two eyes just go, "Dolores, do what you must," and just sort of like gestures that, well, sort of like says that you need to pick up the gun almost.
Oh my god. Um,
As I think as you're sort of like bending down as well to pick up the gun, could you do a listen roll for me? That needs to be a hard.
yeah, sure. I'll fail a roll for you. There you go.
Do you want to push it or spend luck? I don't think you can really spend that much luck. I don't think you've got that much.
I've actually got fairly decent luck, but yeah, I'll roll again. Okay. Well,
Okay,
that didn't help.
well, no, it's a push roll, so you'll still get the result that you want pretty much, but it'll just come at a cost. So, as you reach down, you pick up the gun, and you've heard these words before, but this time, you look up, and as you look up, you see Death's voice or mouth start to move, but it's not Death's voice that comes through. Instead, you hear Pierre, and Pierre just goes, "Save hope," and just then the mouth fades. But Pierre, as you look up, you look sort of shocked that you've heard Pierre's voice and not Death's. So all of a sudden, the necklace just goes really bright blue on Death, and she just sort of keels over, and she's screaming in pain at this point. And just sort of like wheels away, and then Richard just goes, "Sally, she has betrayed us," and Sally just turns around and just like backhands you pretty much. So you will take, it's only a small damage because it's just a punch.
For me?
Yeah, you'll take 1 hit point of damage.
Why?
Because they've
Just
realized.
because of fucking what Death did?
Yep.
But I don't get. Oh my gosh.
You take
That's a
one.
bit rude. If there was any chance of me joining him, it's fucking over now. I'm gonna tell him that too.
So that's what you're going to say to him.
You just fucking hit me out of nowhere.
You're the one with the gun at the minute. He's just stood there. He's like, so you sort of tell him that, and he just sort of like laughs and goes, "You have learned nothing, child. I cannot die."
How many points did I take?
1, just 1.
So, I'll die out of spite. This thing clearly wants me.
You're not gonna shoot Hope?
How many bullets are in this thing?
There's 1 left. He gave 1 to each of you.
Probably just sees me standing there looking at it. Because I'm I just want to shoot someone else.
Well,
really.
if you shoot him, the angel will revive him.
Well, I don't want to shoot him. Obviously, that's not gonna work. There's gonna be someone else here I can shoot.
If you shoot Death, it won't work because it's Death.
Sally's here, right? I could just shoot her.
If you shoot Sally, she'll get revived by the angel. Shoot me and my misery.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, let's do that.
So you're gonna shoot Charles again.
Oh my god.
So okay, so yeah, you shoot Charles, and yeah, Sir Richard's just like, you need to learn to do as I tell you, child, or I will not
Driven to
let you,
madness.
or I will not see you stay here. And then he goes, but if you want to see him die that much, Death, kill him. And he just, you see Death get up and walk over and just like bends down to Charles and just sort of goes, it's time to go. And she like just touches like Charles. It's more of a friendly way. Death sort of like carries you off. Just like it's like peaceful rather than letting you be in pain anymore. She just like sort of like drifts off, and she goes, I like that you have chosen to spare this man. The man that's now going to have to live with watching his wife die, all because you couldn't do what was easy. And you can just see like hope get drained of like even more stuff as this guy's just like screaming out that he's like he's banging on this cage. So he's like, well, my children, join me. You can stay here forever. And yeah, so you stand up. Is there anything that you just want to try before the end?
Yeah. Do I say it? Wait, so it's over?
You've joined Mr. Richards. You've pledged allegiance by killing.
You'll never take me alive.
I should have shot myself.
Nah, it doesn't end that well.
Just would end up paralyzed. Just in a wheelchair.
So is that you're just gonna walk over both Edna and Dolores? You're gonna join Mr. Richards on the thing?
I mean, yeah, at this point I'm at like 36 sanity. I'm not thinking straight. I've got opium in my system. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime. Like at this point I should have left a while ago, and I've already came to accept my fate that I was gonna die here. Because I thought I was fucking losing it earlier. I mean, well, I'm not really thinking straight. So sure. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've probably just given up from exhaustion and just fucking followed behind him. Fuck. I mean, my husband's dead. Like we witnessed it. He's for sure dead. I don't have kids, and my family's in America. So
your husband was never dead. You've seen that it was a fake in that big room.
Oh my!
What a
Nope.
gone.
Nope, she's convinced. Nope, he's dead.
Is Edna gonna try anything when she's fallen into line, or are you just gonna blindly follow?
She's happy to blindly follow.
Okay, well that'll be how your journey in the Hotel Nomad comes to an end. Yeah, you've chose the dark way to end the story. I said it. You psychopaths. I like the fact that Taylor even gave you the solution, which was to shoot Hope to free Hope, and you still just decided to shoot Taylor.
That's typical Doxy. Fuck the system. Fuck the police. Go straight from the underground.
So to end up, we've got Edna and Dolores who have joined the Hotel Nomad, which I did say everything was backwards, and when Death was revealed to be Edith, did you not figure out that the Hotel Nomad is just demon backwards?
No, I never got that.